Welcome back to Trades, Trends, and Takes. I'm your host, Kyle. Today's date is September 3rd, 2024. The S&P shaved off well over 2% today in a very dramatic downward move. The Nikkei is currently negative 3.5% at the moment. Bank of Japan's Governor Ueda Kazu submitted a document to a government panel early this morning our time that suggested that their central bank will continue to raise interest rates if the economy and prices perform as expected by the Bank of Japan. Now, it appears that the time of release of these statements seem to correlate pretty strongly with about when we started selling off. Unfortunately, once we were already well into the US session for the day, then we had ISM data that came out that came in at values below forecasted and certainly didn't help. It seemed to kind of act as fuel on the fire for us. Now, looking at the S&P 500, I've highlighted when the statement from the Bank of Japan was released earlier this morning, as well as when the ISM data then came out a few hours after following that, and we can see the strong downward moves from both. We know how badly markets were shocked from changes to carry trades last month. The S&P 500 was down 10% from all-time highs before we started to make a really strong recovery just in the last couple of weeks. Statements not too long ago were that the BOJ was not looking to raise interest rates anymore for the rest of the year. Now, my understanding is that these were not statements made by the Bank of Japan governor himself, but people at least well educated on the matter. However, obviously we're getting some conflicting messaging for those expectations. And the Bank of Japan is saying, actually, we're going to keep that door open and we will cross that threshold and raise interest rates higher if and when we need to. Now, I'm no expert when it comes to carry trades and their finer details, but I imagine since the first shock to the market that we experienced a month ago or so, the vast majority of traders and institutions in carry trades and in those types of trades have at least considered the possibility that this will not be the only disruption for the foreseeable future. And I also expect that they've been adjusting accordingly. So I think it may be fair to say that we're not looking at the same type of sell-off as what we went through recently. Maybe we trend downwards for a few days here, but I'm not looking to take any risk off of my plate at the moment. Looking at other discussion that is going around online right now, seems US mainstream media is just saying, well, it's September. Everybody knows September is usually a big sell-off month. I'm not buying it. Hang tight, keep the sails out, and we will push through the storm and be in blue skies again in no time. These are volatile times, but we have many more US news events to look forward to throughout this month, including the very possible changes to our federal interest rates. So I don't put too much weight on the sell-in may go away, and I was a little skeptical, though there seemed to be some results that were taking place during the July rally when we were supposed to be appreciating 4% within that month, and we didn't meet that. Last year there was the Santa rally. We didn't get a Santa rally. There's a whole bunch of different things and statements people will have about every different month, and I'm surprised it's not every different week throughout the year. But they can all be wrong, and they are all wrong at different times, and there might even be years where they're all wrong all the time. So I say just continue to do what it is that we normally do, whether that's averaging down and growing your portfolio as a whole, but not to be intimidated by these little hiccups. Even a large negative 2% move such as what we had for today, after just having rallied 10% from monthly lows that we over the last 3-4 weeks we were rallying very strongly. So we're not going to just be undoing that all right away, in my opinion, at least. Now we will have to wait and see how that plays out, but I don't think the impact is going to be as strong. I think the first time that we had this go around, it was much more of a shock, much more unaccounted for. Now participants largely are kind of like, okay, well, we've been through this and we've somewhat planned for this now. So that's all I have for today. Please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you all so much for your continued support and watching my videos. I will see you all for another update soon.